bit sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And for anyone who doesn't know, now you know. This is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or no reasons at all.
That's right.
Because people be crazy.
They are crazy, girl.
Yes, they are. You know what's also crazy?
What?
Is that my friend Hadley McIntosh, thank you, boo friend, she had told me that a group of construction workers at Midwest contracting things. Midwest Contracting was listening to us during their work day.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
And I just want to do a little shout out. Hey, big fellas.
I love
Thanks for listening.
And ladies.
Yeah. That was me being sexist and just assuming that it was guys. But
yeah.
It could have very well been females. Hadley is indeed a female for anyone who's confused, but she doesn't work. Anyway, it's not here nor there. The important thing to know is that Midwest Contracting, thank you guys for listening to us.
Thank
and
you.
Gals.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
sweet
you
baby
so
angels.
much.
Also, before I get knee deep into some crazy shit that you're going to tell me, I would love, and I know you would too,
Yes.
if our friends here would like, rate, review, subscribe.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't cost a damn thing is you picking up your phone right now
Yeah, do it now. We'll wait. Let's just sit here
and
for a
click
second.
subscribe.
Yeah.
And then if you specifically get your rocks off on one of our episodes, it would be really, really cool if you shared it.
Yeah. Tell a friend. Let's
Yeah.
start like a MLM.
What's
the
that?
multi-level marketing scheme.
Oh, I
Let's do a
thought-
pyramid scheme up
No,
in here.
do a chain letter.
Get 3 friends,
Let's act like it's a chain
and then
letter.
you get a beige Audi.
If you do not send
Chain letter.
3 friends our podcast,
That's right.
then the next full moon, you will get a paper cut.
Ow.
Isn't that the dumb shit that those things would be?
I know, dude, like back whenever you could like mail them and it was like send this to 10 people.
And you literally would mail them.
You thought your life was in danger.
Exactly. Your life won't be in danger, but your finger might be in danger of a paper
They
cut.
did that on Jackass where they gave him a paper cut between his toe. Between his toe.
No, thank you.
No, thank you anywhere, but especially not between my toes.
No. Fuck that. What else do we have going on?
Yeah, so Patreon's heating up.
Did we get a Patreon subscriber?
We did. Thank you to Brandy Ball. Now, Brandy has been a day one listener, like on
She's
the
an
jump.
OG.
On the jump. And she was super excited. She DM'd us and was like, hey, guess what? Just signed up for Patreon. So thanks, Brandy.
The joy that I got when checking our inbox and realizing that we had a Patreon subscriber.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Christmas Day and I was fucking 8 years old.
I know. And she gets like extra stuff. So if you all want
because
to do
she's
that.
our number one.
Yeah.
She's our very first.
So since she's on Patreon, she gets extra bonus content, episodes, and other things. So
Yes. So you get
all
sweet little treats every month
do
from
it too,
us.
from the price of a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Coffee, even cheaper depending on where you go.
You are not lying. So help us reach our dreams.
Yeah, help us help you.
Help us help you. Let's do it.
That was our infomercial.
Yeah. Didn't you have some weird ass story to tell me? So every time, because we're besties and we talk to each other all the fucking time, it's
Yes.
kind of excessive. Heather was starting a story yesterday and I could fucking feel that it was something that needed to be shared while on the podcast. So I screamed at her and made her stop. And now it's time for you to tell me.
I wanted to tell you something about this horrible movie that, because my husband Will is probably in the history of humans the worst. Love him, but he's the worst movie picker outer.
Oh, I believe it. Every
like-
time you tell me you're watching a movie, I'm like, I have never heard anything about that.
It's bad. And he has to finish the entire movie no matter what. And I don't know. It's one of his quirks. He's like, I have to know what happens. I'm like, this is awful.
Why did you pick it in the first place?
I know. And we take turns. So if it's his turn, I'm fucked every time.
I wish he would just forget it was his turn.
No, that's one thing he does not forget. The trash, yes, that no. So I can't, and I Googled it when I was caught in traffic at a wreck. I was looking it up, trying to find the name of the movie because I knew you'd ask me. I cannot find it. He does not remember the name of the movie. It was that bad.
Can you just look at what you've watched?
We have like 9 streaming services and no cable, so I don't know what it was even on. Like it was that bad that my brain blacked it out.
Okay.
And chose to black it out. So it's like a thriller, and the husband's real weird, and the wife, and you can tell that they hate each other.
Okay.
And then so he's reading in bed, just ignoring her. She comes in and just casually doesn't speak, doesn't even make a facial expression, just takes her robe off, has on cute little underwear set, lingerie, lays on the bed, doesn't say a word. He's still reading with glasses on. Lights are on, legs are crossed, and he looks over, and she just goes like this. Is this okay? And scoots real slow to the edge of the bed, and he just goes, and starts fucking her because she has to play dead. It's so weird. So like literally she doesn't talk, scoots to the edge of the bed, and during the day scene, and this is 5 minutes into this weird ass movie.
So this is intro,
5 minutes in.
Okay.
And then she scoots to the edge of the bed, then she scoots over again, like drapes her leg over and is like, and then he just starts fucking her, and she just lays there. It's like he even like touches her to make sure she's like holding her breath. It's so bizarre. So Will gets
So hold on.
Yes.
So she has to be fucked while playing dead and not breathing?
Well, she like to very low, like it would be hard
Because
to make
breathing
yourself breathe.
Is not only just one of my favorite things to do.
That is a very fun pastime.
I love
oxygenation of
Yes.
the person. Especially when you're doing that. I like
that is it's always a requirement for me to breathe.
Yeah.
But it becomes an extra special experience when you're having the sex.
What did you whisper?
I don't know.
This doesn't get aired on
This
PBS. You're like, this sex.
I know. It's so weird.
I know. And so, but now it's to punish him for making me finish that entire movie, which was awful. It only went downhill from there. And I even Googled when I was stuck in traffic, wife plays dead in streaming movie. I looked up Netflix, who I cannot remember.
So was he a necrophiliac? Did that play?
I fell asleep during the movie.
And play dead?
No, but Will gets annoyed. I swear to God, I look at him and I always go, is this okay?
Oh,
and I do it too. Now he's like, stop. Like, he's so freaked out.
That is so weird.
It's weird. And she's like hanging halfway off the bed. And then like they hated each other, but then he loved that. I'm like.
So then afterwards, does she come alive?
Okay, what does that mean?
I don't wake up.
Oh, I thought you meant like C-U-M. Alive.
No, just.
I was like.
No, does she just.
No, she does. She lays there the whole time.
No, after.
Oh, when he's done? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she doesn't become done. She doesn't come, right?
She does. I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't even know how to. I'd be so worried about holding my breath. I couldn't even focus on the end game. Just over here trying to get an Oscar nominee.
Yeah, I mean,
that.
Yeah, and then he wasn't even nice to her when she was alive. So why are you going to go the extra mile in the boudoir?
Almost. Is it even going the extra mile if you're just playing a starfish?
I mean, this one I feel like requires acting skills.
Yeah.
Like it's not just starfish lay there. It's like lay there and be a corpse
Oh, that's weird shit.
in cute underwear.
Okay.
Anyway,
Thanks for
that's
sharing
it.
that with me.
I don't know the name of the movie, and I'm going to save everybody the trouble because it's awful.
Now I actually still want to see it.
Okay, well, I'll have to ask. I'll ask him later what movie it was, and it's my favorite new game to play with him, is just to lay around and play dead, and he's like, stop it.
Oh my gosh. I want to get in on that game.
Yeah, okay.
Is this okay?
I know, and she says, is this okay? After she like awkwardly, they don't speak.
Dangles off the bed. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that was very enlightening.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Is this okay?
Do you have
So
a story
weird.
to tell me?
No, do you?
That would suck.
We're just like, okay, pew pew. No, yeah, I do have one.
This is our extra Patreon
Oh, I found one.
content.
Oh, I found one.
Look at that.
I contracted this today. Midwest contract.
Nailed it.
Crushed it. Okay. Are you ready for this jelly? Are you ready?
Yeah. Ooh.
I want peanut butter jelly so much.
I
knew you
want
were gonna
jelly
put-
on some toast myself.
Jelly or jam? Just kidding. Stop. We're going here.
I'm gonna hit you.
Okay. This is the story of Susie Newsom and Fritz Klenner.
I love the name Fritz.
Okay, me too. You want when I'm done.
Aw.
Have you heard of any of this?
No, I'd remember Fritz.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of want to get a dog and name it that until I read the story because it's a funny name. So my sources, Killer Couples, season 5, episode 10 on Oxygen is a good show. The reenactments are really funny. Why are you laughing?
Just the way that whole thing started.
Yes.
It was great.
Yes.
On Oxygen.
I had to think about which one it was. It's on Max, but
Snap
technically
is always on.
Yeah.
Oxygen.
Yeah. Wikipedia, WLKY, a few articles from the Charlotte Observer, Greensboro.com, and an article from the Independent Tribune. And there's also a book called Bitter Blood by Jerry Bledsoe that you can read if you want to like deep dive into it, but I don't do that. It wasn't on Libby, so I didn't do it. It was not free through the library. Okay. Susie Newsom was born on December 24th, 1946 to Florence and Bob Newsom in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 3 years later, they had another son named Rob. Now, they were like a loaded upper class family, like very, very prominent in their community. Her dad, Bob, was super high up at R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, which is still the second largest tobacco company today. Oh, you love this story so much?
Oh my God, that yawn came through my feet and just went right up my body. I was trying to hold it in, and I was like, "You can do it. You're not even tired, Brooklyn. Hold it in," and it just took over.
I know. I was like, "I'm sorry."
I feel like a ghost just flew out of my mouth. A fucking spirit took me over. I don't know. Now I might be yawny, so I'm gonna apologize. You know those come in pairs.
Yes. Now, Susie was named after her aunt, Susie Sharp, who was the first female justice on the North Carolina Supreme Court.
Ooh.
Yeah. Little Susie was apparently a raging brat, though, and super spoiled. Like anything that she wanted, she got. So her dad let her run wild and get away with murder.
If a kid's name is Little Susie, I was
just saying it after.
I mean, if her name's Susie and she's a young child, therefore a little Susie, she sounds like a bitch. But I'm also judgmental as fuck, so.
Well, I mean, it's accurate, so you're fine. Her dad gave her whatever she wanted and got her way, and her mom would try to discipline her. She would throw tantrums so bad when she was younger if she didn't get her way that her mom would have to throw her in like cold showers.
Whoa.
Like they were like that bad, that would just piss me off more if I was
I don't know, that's refreshing. I could use one right now.
Something. I'm gonna make you stand in the corner over there and while I talk to you so you don't fall asleep.
Dude, once more, I think I just need more oxygen to
Do you want to play dead? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You're like, is this okay? Well, I tell my story.
I'll do that.
They were like a country cub. Wow, country cub. Not one that lived in the city, not a baby bear in the city. It was a country cub. No,
as I hope they all are.
Country.
I would like all the cubs to be in the country.
Country club family, and her parents were huge into social status and reputation. Like you had to follow the norm. Everything I read said that Susie thought she was better than everyone else, and she kind of even put herself on a pedestal and kind of isolated herself. One of her friends, she had a couple friends, one of them was like, "Oh, she was just pretty and misunderstood," and everybody else was like, "No, she literally thought she was better than everyone." Yeah. She even had an obsession with the royal family in England. Like when I was younger, I had Hanson and NSYNC posters, Jonathan Taylor Thomas posters. She had Queen Elizabeth posters plastered all over her room.
I didn't even know that there were posters of Queen Elizabeth. So learn something new.
They have that at the Scholastic Book Fair besides the Lamborghini posters.
Right. I'm intrigued to know what that poster would look like. I will be looking that up on Amazon.
It did not look like Taylor Hanson.
Right.
Or Justin Timberlake.
Because it was not the same.
Yes. She graduated from high school in 1964 and went to Queens College, which first of all I was like, because she thought she was royalty, for a bit, but she didn't like it there at all. And she transferred home to Wake Forest College. And I know it's university now, but it was college then, back in Winston-Salem. And while there, she met a handsome pre-med freshman who was 2 years younger than her named Tom Lynch. Now, Tom was on the basketball team there, so he was really cute, but like the reenactor was cute. I could not find a photo of him anywhere. They started dating, and she brought Tom home to meet her snobby parents, and they were like, no. They said, quote, he was a nice, stable boy, and even though his family was not poor, they were just not as rich. Stable, like worked in the stable, not like you are.
Not like
you're
he was a
solid dude.
Okay.
They were like, you.
I've never heard of anyone. Okay.
Yeah. They were like, you
learning something new today.
Yes. They were like, you clean horse You look poor.
If someone's like, you're a stable person, I'd be like, thank you. I would
I'd
never
be like-
I would never take it as a,
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? I can do hard work with my hands.
Yeah, if somebody told me I was stable, I'd be like, what? No, that is inaccurate.
Why aren't you stable?
I'm kind of unstable.
Okay.
I'm a little off my rocker at times. But yeah, Tom, his family had money. They just weren't as loaded
Right.
as this person, as their family. In 1969, Tom brought Susie home to meet his parents, Chuck and Dolores Lynch, and his sister Janie, and they actually lived in Louisville, Kentucky,
They sound sweet as shit.
which they weren't far from here. But this went horribly. Dolores hated Susie, and Susie hated her.
Perfect.
They hated each other.
Sounds like a good movie.
Susie, right? They actually did make this into a movie. Susie acted all snobby and pretentious, of course, which pissed Dolores off.
I'm sure.
But Dolores was kind of described as overbearing. So they're like, no one's good enough for my little Tom.
I wonder if she really was or if it's just that bullshit thing that everyone says about moms. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
Why?
everything-
Because you weren't there?
I know, yeah. I wasn't, sadly.
That's weird.
I wasn't there when they met. Well, needless to say that Dolores was real pissed off when they got married on June 6th, 1970,
Ooh.
after Tom graduated. Now, he was pre-med, but he decided not to be a general physician. And his dad was like, all right, well, I'll pay for you to go to dental school if you want to go to the University of Kentucky. So they moved to Lexington,
Ooh, go UK.
which we know is 30 minutes from Louisville.
Go Cats. Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, so Susie's monster-in-law lived 30 minutes from her now.
That sucks.
Yeah. And after graduating dental school, Tom joined the Navy to save up money for his own to open his own practice. In 1974, they moved to Beaufort, South Carolina, and so he could go in the Navy. And then on August 30th of that year, she had their first child, John. When he was born, Tom's mom and sister Janie out of nowhere, they called and they're like, hey, we're in town from Louisville. They just drove down to give him a heads up. They just
Well, they could have been going shopping.
from Louisville to North Carolina, like
Oh, I misinterpreted that.
they
heavily.
live to South Carolina now.
Yeah, my apologies. I'm like, that's not a big deal. It's 30 minutes
30
away.
minutes,
There's
I'm
great
like-
shopping. They have good breweries.
Yeah, like no, like in town, in like a million states
Okay,
away.
that's aggressive.
Yeah.
Sounds like my sister. She'll just pop up in,
You're like, hey,
in the
I'm
good
here.
old state of Kentucky, and I'll be like, from Florida. And I'll get about as much of a notice. Love you, Brittany.
And so they called and they said, hey, we're in town. And when they showed up at their house, Susie wouldn't talk to him at all.
Ooh.
And they left after a few hours. 'cause
That's
they
a choice.
They felt unwelcome. She was like, I mean, here's the thing. I see both sides. You didn't give me any notice. They just had the baby. It was like same week or two. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, it's family. You shove it up your butt for family.
Yeah.
And I would really hope that if I had a baby, like Travis's mom, Mary, would be like, I'm here to help. And I'd be like, here, take little baby Ren and go let me fucking sleep. Ren would be the name of a daughter. For
Ren.
sure. Ren.
I
Anyway,
was- I
but I
think-
would just be like, "Oh, that's great help. I really
Yeah.
need that."
Not
Like,
if
a
you
lot of moms like,
Yeah.
or a lot of like new moms really do appreciate.
Yeah, this
But-
one, she didn't even like her anyway, so she really didn't like her in her face right then. In 1976, their second son, Jim, was born, and then the mother and daughter, she wouldn't let her come see her grandkids. Like after that, she basically was like, no. Tom would go visit her on his own, and that's it.
And he was just okay with that.
Kind of, but not. He was like, what do I do?
Say no.
The same year, Tom was discharged from the Navy, and he decided to move to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to open his practice and put distance between them. He thought that would help if he put even more distance between them, which they were still states away. So anyway, and do you think that Susie liked barbecue in New Mexico?
I'm over here just like, dude, grow a pair.
Right?
What the fuck, man? People get over this shit. If you actually plan on being marriage means choosing each other all the time. So like, why the fuck you wouldn't just be like, I care that your mom is going to be a part of our lives and just be fucking better, man.
Yeah.
So I'm firstly annoyed that he's like, so I thought I'd add more distance between running away from your problems. You sound lame to me once more, but I'm a
He
raging
was
cunt.
described as quiet, and everyone thought that she was with him because she could control him a little bit.
Because he had a big dick.
Because she's
That's
just
always the shit now, right?
What?
Like, he must have a big old cock. That's why they're together. Or it's that bank account, but I be seeing his car. It ain't the bank account, it's that dick.
what?
I don't know. I'm just telling you the shit I've
She
talked
controlled
about.
him, so her dick was bigger than him in this
No,
situation.
it don't matter. Sex.
What? You wouldn't even say the word sex earlier. And
Anywho, whatever.
okay.
No, she did not like Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Fuck no, she didn't like it. No one knew who she was there, and they didn't care who her last name was. She said a bunch of racist shit, and one of the quotes was like, "There's too many rough-looking people there," but most of her quotes were racist because she was very racist. After 3 years of living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. When you type it so many times, I've done it. I had to do it for my other story that I did, so it feels like barbecue to me. After 3 years of living in Albuquerque, they fought. Tom and Susie started fighting all the time, and money was tight. Like his practice was growing, but not fast enough for her liking. In 1979, she went home to visit her family with her sons in North Carolina, and after a week, she called Tom and she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna stay." So. He was like, shit.
I feel like that's not how that works. But
they eventually filed for divorce.
now that's how that works.
Yeah. So It was on the road to divorce.
Okay.
And when she's like, I'm not bringing your kids back. And he's like, yeah, we should probably split up. They eventually filed for divorce. And I wrote Dolores' Tom's mom. Dolores, Tom's mom, was like, oh my God, fuck, yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I hated her. Like, thank you. In mid-1980, Susie took the boys to move back in with her parents, Bob and Florence, in Winston-Salem. And Susie had been sick a lot, and there was a bunch of other shit I cut out. But basically, moral of that story, she looked and felt sick a lot. And her parents were concerned, so they had her go see well-known Dr. Fred Klenner in Reidsville, North Carolina. And by the way, Dr. Klenner, some people thought he was like prestigious. Most people thought he was a quack. Even for like anything from a cold to like premature babies, he would do vitamin C injections. So if you had your baby prematurely, he was like, they just need vitamin C.
Give them a fucking orange.
Right? Like, drink this OJ. You're 10 weeks old. Like, I don't know. It was bizarre. So she started driving the hour there every week to get her vitamin C treatment. And basically she was stressed out and tired. So vitamin C is going to help that.
Yes.
Yeah. So while there, she became close with a guy there named Fritz Klenner.
Uh-oh.
Who was Dr. Klenner's son.
I was like, I don't know anything. I'm just going to yell, uh-oh. Be an adult, Brooklyn. Fuck.
And when he was Dr. Klenner's son and worked at his clinic. Now, Fritz was 6 years younger than Susie and about to graduate med school at Duke and also going through a divorce. They eventually started seeing each other and banging it out.
They started seeing each other naked?
Yes.
All right.
Seeing their hearts and their parts.
Oh, my God. Oh, I just hated that so bad.
I knew you would. It popped in my head and I was like, say it. She's going to despise that.
Terrible.
Hearts and our parts.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit about the Klenners. So Fritz and his dad, huge conspiracy theorists and doomsday preppers, like huge.
Okay.
Fritz had an obsession with Hitler, would like draw swastikas on his notebooks in school. Even in somebody's notebook in high school, he wrote, and I quote, "Be a man and join the Klan." So yeah, in high school. So he was, yeah.
So no one, okay. That is quite possibly the largest red flag of all the red flags.
Right.
Unless, yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Fritz went to school at Ole Miss, and thanks to his dad, because Ole Miss, the college or university, is the same school that originally took the stance against James Meredith, which was the first black student to enroll there in the school in 1962. So, like, there was riots against the black man that went to Ole Miss. So his dad was like, I stand behind that school. You should go there because of that. So they're gross. We don't like the Klenners.
No, fuck the Klenners.
Yeah. He actually flunked out of Ole Miss, but he's so convincing and delusional that he went back to telling everyone, like, he went back home. He pretended to go to school still, went back home and said he got his pre-med undergraduate degree, even though he flunked out.
I always love this time in
life when you can just do it.
Society when you could just like say that you did things that you didn't do.
Yeah.
And then like no one could prove it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I went to Harvard. I got a sweatshirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally did that.
Yeah.
You can't double check me.
Yeah. And so Fritz's dad, Dr. Klenner, called the school because his diploma never showed up. And they were like, he flunked out, sir.
Brutal.
He asked his son this and he told his dad, oh, no. There was a conspiracy in the German department. They were working against me to graduate, but I'm going to sort it all out. And apparently Fritz was so convincing to literally everyone. Like, it was unreal. So...
I wonder if he was that convincing or if everyone else was stupid.
Oh, you'll see. He is very convincing. Yeah. So his dad still hired him at the medical practice as an unlicensed medical assistant.
Perfect.
When he had no business doing at the vitamin C depot. Like he should not
safe and
work.
perfect.
No. In 1976, he was like, oh, hey, by the way, Ole Miss said I graduated and I got into Duke Med School. So, no, he didn't. For years, he would pretend during the week to go to Duke and then work weekends at the clinic for his dad.
Man, I love a long game.
Just pretending. That's commitment to the game. But
that is
also
epic.
endangering lives because you have no medical license, you fucking asshole. Yeah.
Because you didn't pass the tests that would actually confirm that you understand the knowledge that it takes to do this.
He flunked out. Like, you and I are more educated than he is. Like, we have college degrees. He does not. And he's practicing medicine.
Golly.
Yeah.
I also have the internet.
Right.
So I'll just watch a YouTube video. I'll figure it out.
How you take that hard out? All right, hang on. Let me pull up my TikTok real quick.
I can figure this out.
I got it. There's got to be a Pinterest page.
Someone's done this before and totally laid out how to do it.
There was always the first person to do this. I'm strong. Okay, anyways. Okay.
Focus.
I'm trying. Okay. And then people started noticing. They're like, you're not a doctor, sir. Like, one time there was somebody there that had a heart attack and he was the only one there. His dad wasn't there. The doctor, quote unquote, runs to the next building and got a dentist to do CPR. He couldn't even do CPR. And then people were like,
okay, if you're going to do that stuff, fun fact, learn the bare minsies.
like, that's taught to humans.
Like, there's a CPR class that you can take.
Yeah. Well,
And I know the song Staying Alive wasn't invented yet.
or was it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't fucking know. I don't even know what year we're talking about right now.
76.
Yeah, I have no idea. And maybe then yes. But either way, just learn.
Yeah. So, and not go get the dentist.
I mean,
The doctor-
you got to get an adult.
Right.
I needed to grab an adult.
Now, he still told people that he was at Duke. And then finally, like, his dad was like, we know you're not a doctor. Finally. But also during this time, he becomes more obsessed with bombs and doomsday prepping.
Oh, fuck.
And even starts to collect cyanide.
Ah,
Okay. So
shit.
backgrounds. You got both backgrounds. Now they're
they have now
hearts and parts. We're back.
They have now shared their hearts and parts.
Their hearts and parts have been
this is
shared.
bad. This is bad.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like the perfect storm.
So we're back, and they're dating. When Susie's mom found out about them dating, she was pissed. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Not only was he a wackadoodle liar, he was Susie's first cousin. Dr. Fred Klenner was her uncle, and Fritz is her fucking cousin.
The first one.
Cousin, not even like a Clueless movie
Holy
situation where it's a
fucking
stepbrother and it's still
shit.
gross, but
Or
everyone
they're like adopted or lost at birth, because I guess that happened
Nope.
in movie layout things.
first cousin. So this country club snob is boning her cousin and continues to, quote, do it secretly, even though she would be like, we're not dating. We're just super close. No, you're fucking your cousin, ma'am. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Ugh, you're racist, doomsday, conspiracy theorist believing, not doctor
6
saying.
years younger than you.
Younger first cousin.
Not fuck the first cousin. We can just say cuz, man. That's a cousin.
Either way.
That is nasty.
No.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that's why I put it in the middle and I didn't.
I really enjoyed the way you wrote that story out.
Yeah,
this has been a very good treat.
Thanks,
very
thanks,
delicious.
thanks,
Sorry
thanks.
for the yawns.
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
You're
about
awake
that.
now?
I'll probably yawn again.
I
but-
brought up incest. That usually gets people's attention.
Yeah, I mean, all of it. All of it's been very tantalizing.
Yeah. When her mom Florence would leave town because she lived with her mom, the neighbors were like, there's like a naked family reunion going on. They didn't say that, but that's how I worded it. Like they're fucking when you're gone. He comes over when you're gone. And she's like, so in 1983, Susie and her mom got in a huge fight and she moved out. Florence was like, you're going crazy and you're with your lover cousin. Like she starts believing all the conspiracies. Like she's like, you're going down a dark road. And then that also pissed Susie off.
Well, you're getting more secluded if you're fucking someone you're like not supposed to. And now you're just, okay, hold on. Where was the uncle in this? That's weird.
What?
Fritz's dad. Was he not like, hey, it's cool that I'm giving you these vitamin C shots and stuff, but like, whoa.
He just thought they were close. I think he was in denial.
I think I would 100% believe that they were not fucking before I would believe that they were fucking.
Right.
Like if you're just like, hey, this is my cousin and you're just hanging out with your cousin, I'd be like, that's cool. I would never once.
I think it's the way that they acted. You know how you always joke that you can tell when people have seen each other naked in public?
Yeah.
Like, I think they gave off that vibe. I don't know. What I do know is yuck.
That's a big old yuck for me, dog. That's a big old yuck for me.
Yes. Susie started saying Tom Lynch, her baby daddy ex-husband, was a kingpin in the underworld of drugs and gambling. You know how she said she adamantly believed this, and you know how? She's like, well, my anonymous FBI friend, who she would never say their name.
Well, that's how they remain anonymous, Heather.
That's right. Well, she was like, my FBI friend, but I would not tell anybody.
I want an FBI friend. So I'll stop interrupting.
Yeah, right. Listen, okay. Her friend in the FBI told her that because his dental practice partners have Italian last names. So who... just because they had a last name, like...
Well, if they're like going on the whole...
but they're dentists. Like what?
Go Hitler thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Right.
A last name does it.
Fritz is like, well, I have to protect Susie and the boys from all the bad people.
Oh, my God.
Which includes Dolores, who is her ex-mother-in-law, Florence and Bob Newsom, and everyone is just out to get those two.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. I think they're projecting their little cousin love. Anger, plus their conspiracies on everybody else. June of 1983, Tom remarried his dental hygienist back in Albuquerque.
Okay.
Ex-husband.
Okay.
So I didn't mention this, but Tom's mom went out down to Albuquerque to see her son and got pissed because he wasn't fully divorced on paper yet, and Kathy, the hygienist, was over there. So Dolores was always up in his business.
All right. She does sound pretty overbearing.
So Tom flew his boys out there for the first summer visit with them. And Tom said when they got there, the boys looked terrible. Like his sons. They were dirty. They hadn't brushed their teeth in like forever. Their toenails were curling. Just horrible. Like they were so bad. And he was very concerned. And he also said that they started talking a lot about Uncle Fritz. All the time. And
Which was literally.
And he didn't know who Fritz was because their family was so uppity, like Susie's family, that they didn't really associate with them that often. They only went there because she needed a doctor. So they never did. They also told their dad that Uncle Fritz had a ton of guns, including huge military weapons that like normal hunters, etc., would not have. Fritz and Susie said that Tom would use the boys as drug mules to transport them across the Mexican border. So Susie and Fritz think that Tom flew them out there to run drugs for him. They're like 4 and 6. Like they're young at this point.
Wow.
So out there. In May of 1984, Fritz's dad, Fred Klenner, the doctor, he passed away. And then this shoved Fritz right over the deep end like he wasn't already there.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure.
The man who's, again, not a doctor, took over the medical practice.
Fucking fuck.
Because he was so convincing that the local pharmacists didn't check because they thought he was a doctor. So he was filling prescriptions and stuff if he did something.
I can totally see how they didn't.
Yeah, they were like, well, everybody knows your dad.
We have a database in 85, I don't feel like.
Right? Yeah.
That they could easily access.
And when Aunt Susie, the chief Supreme Court justice in North Carolina, heard about this. She called Duke and she found out he was fucking lying. Like because her friend was the president at Duke. And she was like, hey, girl, or boy, I don't remember who it was.
Hey, friend.
Hey, friend. Yeah. And so she quietly had their practice shut down because, again, reputation. A few months later, the boys went back out to see their dad and stepmom, Kathy, and then they took them on a little vacation for a week.
Good.
Yeah. When they got home that night, Tom thought it was weird because his mom called religiously every time, every week, of course, but every time they traveled, no matter what, he would say, hey, we're leaving. I'll be home at this time. She would call to make sure. Dolores was now a widow, Tom's mom, and Tom's sister Janie lived nearby in Louisville, so they were together all the time. When she didn't call by Tuesday night, Tom got really worried, and then he was getting ready to leave work and go call, and then the police department, a police officer walked into his job. Dolores and Janie were found brutally murdered at her house in Louisville. Dolores' friend was worried when she didn't show up for their weekly breakfast, so she went over to check on her. And she found Dolores laying in the driveway with gunshot wounds, and this poor woman's head was almost blown off her body.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And then in the bedroom, Janie was found dead as well, and she'd been shot. So Tom lost his shit, obviously. And then he called his ex-wife, Susie, to say the boys were staying with his new wife, Kathy, and he had to fly back to Kentucky. Before he left, Tom called his lawyer and he was like, hey, if this plane crashes for some reason, make sure that the boys get the inheritance from his mom's estate because his mom passed away and she had money too. And he was like, make sure that Susie can't touch this money. I don't want her to have any part of it. I want it to go straight to the boys and they can't touch it till they're 18. Leave her out of it. So his lawyer stayed up all night, got the paperwork ready for that. So he thought that much of something was happening to even think that before he got on a plane. Tom met with the police. They interviewed him forever, did all the handprints, everything, and they quickly ruled him out because he did stand to gain all of that money. Now, someone had tried to make the house look like a robbery gone wrong, but she had cash on her. Her purse was there, so obviously they did a bad job. Tom called Susie when
They kind of missed the key elements.
Yeah, they were like, at least take some cash, like
at the bare minsies, take what's on the body,
right? Yeah, something. And Tom called Susie when he got back home to New Mexico, his ex-wife, and he was like, hey, my birthday's next week. I just lost my mom and my sister. Can I please just keep the boys a little bit longer? And she's like, fuck you. And he's like, okay, I don't like how the living situation is anyway. She's crazy. I need to take her back to court and get custody. Now, because her family had connections and she had gotten custody the first time, but they had arranged like where they would go.
Well, she also like fucking took them.
Yeah, that too. But like she legally
got it.
Yeah, because I mean, her aunt's a fucking the Supreme Court in North Carolina. Now, Susie starts telling people that Tom's family, like it was a mob hit. She's convinced that it was the mob. The mob did it. The mob did it.
People.
You know how she knows it now though? Because Fritz is in the CIA. He's not a doctor anymore. He's in the CIA. Like
You're making me want to leave.
He convinced her, not only her, but like other people in his life, which first of all, CIA agents don't brag about it. They don't share it on their LinkedIn. Been a CIA agent since 2022. You don't tell people that.
I need so much more evidence in life. Like, I just don't take the word of a human. I'd be like, can I have a piece of paper that shows your degree? May I please? Because usually what feels really reassuring is when I go into a doctor's office and I can see a degree. Yeah. Confirming that they are capable of doing what they're doing.
Right.
If you are a part of the CIA, I would like to see their letterhead printed on a piece of paper. I would like to see their letterhead. Addressed to your name.
You got any CIA swag? Show me a hat.
Show me a badge.
Show me a badge.
Show me a cool jacket.
Something.
Anything.
Yes.
Anything.
Yeah. So now he's in the CIA.
I'm annoyed.
Okay. Cut to March of 1985. Susie and Fritz now call each other husband and wife, even though that's a crime.
and not true.
Yeah. And Fritz calls Jim and John his sons now.
I hate people.
Yes. Their apartment in Greensboro, North Carolina, has camo blankets over the windows. They're in like full prepper conspiracy mode now.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Let's dive into that shit.
like wild. Fritz had an inheritance from his dad's estate, and he spent almost all of it. He bought, I think they said a Blazer, some kind of SUV, and but he spent the rest of it on military guns, explosives, and all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm going to list 2 things and then say all that shit.
I mean, literally, it's
Military guns, bombs, and all of those things.
all of the things. Yes. Now, Susie is prepping for the custody battle for the boys and finds out that her own parents, Florence and Bob, are going to testify against her on her ex-husband's behalf.
Preach.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Nothing can tell you more.
Like that, right.
Nothing. There's
Your
nothing
own
more.
mother and father aren't going to vouch for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take them kids away.
Yeah. And like, they obviously know the boys don't need to be there. On May 17th, 1985, Fritz went to pick up his friend's son, Ian Perkins, who lived by them in Lexington. Now, Ian looked up to Fritz and they shared the same worldviews.
Okay. Good way to put it.
Yeah. And then so when Fritz was like, hey, I'm in the CIA and I need to go on a secret mission and you should come with me for your training, because he knew that Ian looked up to him and wanted to be a CIA agent too. Ian was like,
so bizarre.
Ian was like, yeah, come get me. Let's do this. Now, do you want to know what the secret mission was?
No.
He said, hey, 21-year-old friend of son of my friend.
Oh my
We have to go kill foreign drug smugglers in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, fuck.
He said he would evaluate him after the mission and let him know if he was cut out for the CIA.
After I kill a stranger. Where is the letterhead? Where is the piece of paper
I don't know.
with the letterhead
Show me something. Did your boss email
telling
you?
me this
Yeah.
in code? Tell me, show me. Fuck.
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic employing your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
Where we are right now.
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at WBOYmedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts. The Western Kentucky Outdoor Expo is coming to Owensboro Convention Center on April 12th and 13th. Explore RVs, boats, hunting gear, side-by-sides, and more, all in one place. And best of all, it's free. Don't miss this ultimate outdoor adventure. Learn more at westernkyoutdoorexpo.com or follow us on Facebook. We'll see you there.
Okay, on May 18th, Ian did as he was told and
God.
he dropped Fritz off in a neighborhood and picked him up after his mission was complete.
No, I'm already really sad and upset.
Yeah. Ian was described as very naive, so he truly believed this was his ticket into the CIA.
Oh, I'm embarrassed for him.
The next day, no one could get a hold of Bob and Florence, Susie's parents. And
She killed her own parents.
they'd been living with their 85-year-old that they called Nana Newsom. Her parents had been living with her Nana to help take care of her.
This is so insane that they went after the parents. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Rob, Susie's brother, went to Nana Newsom's to look because he couldn't get a hold of anybody, and he found all 3 of them shot.
Please tell me, I'm going to need you to blink once if I'm on the right track.
Okay, well, I can't not blink, so.
Okay, blink twice.
Okay, well, now that's all I
okay,
want to
will
do.
you just listen?
That's all I want to do.
At this point, does it start to shine light on them?
I'm not going to spoiler alert anything.
I hate you.
I know you
I know, but blink. No one's looking. Cover your eyes.
I can't. All I want to do is blink when you tell me
I
to
just
just
need to
do
know.
it. Okay, well, you.
Go faster. I'd be speeding up my audiobook right now.
Okay, so again, they all were shot in Nana Newsom's house. And when he called Susie, his sister, to tell her, she didn't respond on the phone. Not shocked. And then you know what she said? Well, my dog ran off, so I have to go find him, and hung up the phone. So when police in North Carolina...
What is happening?
Yeah. Police in North Carolina learned that Susie's ex-mother-in-law and sister-in-law were murdered in Louisville a year before the same way.
Okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for.
This is why I didn't have to
Let's
blink.
sit at the coffee table. Let's get a Diet Coke. Let's put this puzzle together.
Oh my God, now I want a Diet Coke.
I do too.
I want a Coke
I'm
Zero.
hot and I would like a Diet Coke.
Yes. Okay. Susie gave them her alibi and it checked out. But she sure did mention her mob conspiracy theories to about all the murders. Because she was like, oh, it's Tom's fault. He's in the mob. All those Italian dentists he works with. Because my husband's in the CIA and he don't, I can't even keep it
I don't
straight,
even
but
get it.
I can't.
I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah. And
Even if they were just a restaurant owner, own a restaurant.
yeah. I saw him eat spaghetti twice. Some damn Italian mobs. He likes meatballs.
Right?
Like what?
Of all the things, I wouldn't have thought a dentist. I would even go with a vet more than a dentist. I don't know, horse tranquilizer or something. I was thinking about what's in the cabinets.
The horse head in the bed.
Thinking about the more intense meds.
Oh, I was thinking of horse heads in beds. Isn't that a mob thing on it?
I don't know. I don't know where people be getting big horses to chop their heads off.
Vets, Italian vets, apparently. Okay, let me finish.
I'm done. I'm done.
You were yawning, and now you're like blink twice if you're gonna say it.
Because I'm a part of the mob. I don't get it.
Okay, Fritz told the cops, yeah, I was with my little buddy Ian and we were camping because, again, that poor guy thought he was in CIA training. So
Dude.
Ian, they asked him, and after like 1 minute, Ian cracked and he was like, okay, so I was on my top secret mission to kill the communists. And then, but
Holy
they said
moly.
they could tell he really believed him because he was devastated when they told him, like, dude, you helped someone potentially murder someone. And
Murder 3 people. 3 innocent people in their home.
Ian felt really terrible and he was like, how can I help? I want to help. So he agreed to wear a wire. This kid's 21. He agreed to wear a wire and try to get Fritz to talk. And the one guy on the show, he just nonchalantly was like, yeah, we weren't sure if he was going to make it out alive. Just sent this kid in knowing he could die.
He helped murder 3 people.
Yeah, he genuinely didn't know that. Though.
I hear you.
But it's just sad that they were
the
like...
same thing with laws. Like, just because you didn't know you were breaking one doesn't mean you didn't break one.
I mean, you're
That's like tax laws. Like, you know, it just because you didn't know doesn't make it okay that you still broke it. I don't know.
Now, I just feel bad because
He knew that he was going to murder someone. And he had no evidence. Like, he said he was going to kill the communists, that he was going to murder someone.
Okay, that's a different way to look at it. Yeah.
Right. He said he was going to go kill somebody
first I felt
without
bad for
any
him.
evidence. I do not.
Yeah, now I don't. He just thought that they were... I can't dive into that. Anyway, Ian
Heard.
Wire Fritz.
Got it.
Okay. On June 1st, 1985, he went to Fritz and tried to get him to talk. And Fritz was like, no, like, I'm in the CIA. And everyone's out to get us. I'm in the CIA. On June 3rd, Fritz and Ian, they talked again, and he was wearing the wire, trying to get their story straight because he knew the cops were interviewing them and like they were.
Quick question.
Yes. I love that you raised your hand.
Quick question.
Miss Johnson. Yes.
It's Mrs. No, I'm finally fucking married. I'm excited and I don't care. I'm going to ride that gravy train until whenever, until I die. So the question is, did the cops call the CIA and confirm that Mr. Fritz was not a part of this?
They all fucking knew.
I wonder if they were doing this. They were like, wait, is Fritz a part of the CIA? And then they call the CIA and they're like, do you have a Fritz? Because I don't know, like Fritz.
Fritz Klenner. Do you have an agent Fritz Klenner?
I just feel like somebody had to have called.
I mean, I'm sure they had a temp do it at one point. They were like, you know what? It's your first day. We're going to give you a task.
Yeah.
Would you like some busy work?
I just wonder if they thought it at all.
I mean, they probably have to.
Right? I would hope.
I would assume they would have to.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
2 days later, they meet again to get their story straight to what they're going to tell the cops. And then Fritz is finally like, okay, Ian, like, I'll write a note and I'll tell him I lied to you. Like, I'll tell him I lied. He didn't admit it, but he said, I will write the police a handwritten note and leave it in my apartment because they're going to search it at some point, saying you had nothing to do with this because I told you I was in the CIA. So he finally said that part. He didn't admit all the fault, but he did say that. And then, so they were like, that's enough. That's enough. He admitted it without admitting it. So they were like, we can finally move in. So special agents, real special agents from Kentucky and North Carolina
Get them.
come together. They didn't.
Not their hearts and their parts.
No, they had clothes on.
Okay.
Their hearts were together in a good spot, but their parts were separate.
Okay.
Now, they were cautious about busting Fritz because he was fucking nutbag.
And he had a ton of fucking...
Yeah, and they were like, he has cyanide and bombs and military weapons like that normal, like only the military are supposed to have, and very few states that's illegal.
Right.
And shit in an apartment building. Too.
Precious. That's precious.
So they had all, and they only told the local police that they needed one uniformed cop and cop car there. The rest of them were plain agents in undercover clothes, and they had one. But like that would suck if they were like, "Hey, we need you to be the only thing that sticks out right now." I would not want to be that cop.
Well, hopefully for them, it would seem a lot like for the dude, it would be a lot less intimidating.
Right.
So he's not going to do anything to one, hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, if a whole bunch came in, then it's like, all right, I'm going to blow up the building.
That's why they were like, let's try it this way. Now, they're waiting on the cop to get there. He radioed back, yeah, I'll be there in a second. And then they all of a sudden see Susie and Fritz start loading up their SUV. They come out with the big guns, like a bunch of them.
Like they're just carrying big guns out to their vehicle?
Yes.
That's epic.
Yes.
They're like, you know what? You know where my fucks are? I don't know. I lost them.
They already think everyone's out to get them. They're like, here we go. Camping equipment. They bring out like 3 or 4 huge duffel bags. But the worst thing that they could have seen come out was Jim and John with them. And they weren't expecting them to be there because it was school hours, which is why they did it on that day. They thought the boys would be at school and they would be safer.
Makes sense.
She loaded the boys up in the back seat and their 2 dogs with them. And then she hopped up in a shotgun, and then Fritz started driving and they left. And then the agents are like, shit, like they couldn't move in because the kids and like they didn't know what he would do. They were close, but they weren't close enough to get him. So he like just...
I hate to have a follow-up question. I hate to do this.
You're allowed to.
Do you remember when they were born, the kids?
They're
I thought it was
8 and 10
72.
at this time.
Okay, 8 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
8 and 10.
They're
okay.
8 and 10 at this time.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I was trying to...
Well, if you have a question,
I'm watching
maybe
this
those people do. So
I'm watching this story unfold in my nogs.
Perfect.
And I needed to know how old the kids were supposed to be in my story.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're like, shit, like we're nervous to move in. They had to make a judgment call because they didn't want him to, like you said, do anything. He was a loose cannon. And they called the local police, and then the officer responded, and he got behind them and he flips his lights on to pull him over.
Okay.
When he does this, an undercover agent pulls his car in front of his and pulls out his FBI badge because he's a real FBI agent. And he's like, pull over.
All these people sound so cool.
Right. And then
the real agents.
Right. Yes. And then Fritz is like, no. And he just like drives around him, but he's only going 5 miles over the speed limit. So he's like Travis.
Travis goes 2.
Oh yeah.
On a very spicy day.
So it wasn't a high speed chase. It was a OJ chase. Like you're going, if it's 40 and a 35.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and they're 9 and 10. Sorry. Susie's kids are 9 and 10.
Okay.
And
that changed everything.
And they're in the car. Yeah. The cops trying to like nudge him off the road and block him with the local cop car. But when the cop car hits Fritz's door, it spun around, and then like they're facing each other and they're like 8 feet away. He pulled out an Uzi, which is a military submachine gun.
Yeah.
Smirks at him and fires 5 rounds. The cop was like,
yeah.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is a movie. Oh, man.
It literally is a movie.
Tid hit the mic.
Yeah.
That is wild. I'm kind of surprised that they tried to like stop the vehicle, because if they would have tapped it with explosives,
yeah,
you know, like the risk was really, really high.
Yeah.
Like if they would have flipped the vehicle,
yeah,
boom shakalaka.
Yeah, but he was going like 40.
Yeah, but
so they were. I get it. Yeah.
Right. You can still flip a vehicle.
They were trying to see what options.
But
they
the fact that dude was like, "Watch my Uzi,"
he literally smiled at him.
I mean, if you're gonna shoot an Uzi, you should smile.
Yeah,
no one should shoot one unless they're a special agent.
Yeah, and this police officer, and I don't have his name. He was hit once. Luckily, just one time in the upper part of his chest. But his wife, he made a promise to his wife every day he would wear a bulletproof vest, and it saved his life. Now his skin
I need to know what a newsie is because I thought it was a way bigger thing, and if he would have shot him, it would have exploded the entire vehicle.
Yeah. Okay, so they said that his body was so beat up, like he still was hospitalized because his skin.
Oh, okay. That's aggressive.
Yeah, his skin looked like it was fucked. It fucked him up still, but didn't kill him.
Sending this to Jess to show.
Okay.
Okay, I thought
was
an Uzi
was like a rocket launcher.
Yes,
I wrote
totally thought it was.
I wrote rocket launcher, and I was like, I better fact check.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad he did because if he would have shot 5, homeboy would have died in the 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, wouldn't it have blown the car up? But I guess
I have knocked everything. I threw my watch, thought I could put it on this thing, threw it behind the thing. Just put my phone.
we're gonna have to put you in a straitjacket.
I know.
You're gonna have to lay there like that bitch on that movie. I don't remember the name of.
I don't blame you.
And I will say yes, that is okay. Hold your breath for an hour while I tell you the
Straitjackets are
story.
terrifying.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Yeah, okay. And so he does that. The cop, like Fritz keeps going. Even though they tried to bump him off the road, they surround him again while he's driving. He leans out the driver's side window and starts firing at him again. Now, a few of them were injured, but they all survived, by the way. And then they have to start firing back. They didn't want to because the boys were in there.
Yeah.
But they have to at this point.
Open fire, yeah.
They were trying to avoid one of the busiest intersections in that town because there's a college campus there. And there's people all the time everywhere. Well, that's exactly where he led them to.
Of course.
Yeah, people are everywhere. So like bullets are flying from
Must be
everyone.
terrified to be those kids.
Right? People are diving, trying to hide behind stuff. Like there was a lady mowing the lawn at the college campus and she dove off the tractor while it was running. Like they're just, people are trying to hide. And if you think about it, there's only one car, like one cop car. The rest of them are regular cars. So they don't know what the hell's happening.
Right.
And the local police didn't know.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so wild.
The local police didn't even know. Just that one cop said they were trying to talk to a murder suspect, and that's it. So the local police department didn't even know what this was.
That's crazy.
Like, or how the gravity of the situation. He turned the corner, Fritz does. He parks the SUV right in front of the huge college campus there, and then he gets out. He starts standing in the middle of the road, just firing the Uzi at him again.
Oh my gosh.
One police officer pulls out an AR-15, and then Fritz is like, "Oh shit!" Now so then he gets back in his car and he drives off and does his little OJ chase again, going 35 miles an hour. I'm assuming because he's still shooting at him while he's driving the car. The chase continues north, and eventually the SUV comes to a complete stop. And then the cops like get out and they start to prep for another shootout. They're like, man, he's going to start doing that shit again. So they get out and like take cover and stuff. And they get out of their cars. The SUV blew up and exploded. Debris flew over 100 yards away, and the passenger side door was lodged in a pine tree that was 50 feet high. Like this was a huge explosion. Now, at 3:07 p.m., after a 30-minute chase, it ended this way. The cops slowly go up to the wreckage to check it out, and they could tell that the bomb was under Susie's passenger seat because of how mutilated her 39-year-old body was. Like
the boys died.
Fritz was thrown from the car.
I don't know.
Fritz was thrown from the car, and he was still breathing. The cops went up there, and they are so mad. They're like, "Tell us you killed these people. Tell us you killed those 5 people." And he smirked and then passed away immediately. He didn't say a word. Fritz was 32 years old when he died.
Oh my gosh.
Sadly, Jim and John, the sons, were both killed instantly, as well as the dogs.
That's so sad.
When they did the autopsy on Jim and John, they both had cyanide in their systems, and they had been shot in their heads. So what they think, the boys were likely unconscious from the poison, and from the angle, Susie had shot her sons before the bomb went off. Yeah.
Oh.
So officially, the murders of Nana Newsom, Florence and Bob Newsom, Dolores Lynch, and Janie Lynch were never tried in court, but they had no doubt that it was Fritz and Susie's plan, and they closed it. Ian Perkins, the camping buddy who thought he was doing CIA training, was charged with accessory after the fact and got 4 months in jail.
Okay.
When the cops searched Fritz and Susie's, they found the note that he'd written saying Ian had no idea what was happening. So he kept his
I'm
end
surprised
of
he
it.
actually did that.
Yeah. Tom Lynch buried Jim and John in Albuquerque at ages 9 and 10.
That's so sad.
He and Kathy, the dental hygienist, are, I'm pretty sure, still married today and living down in New Mexico. And they ended up having a daughter after this.
I'm going to guess they didn't name her Susie.
Right. And that's the story of Susie Newsom Lynch and her cousin husband, Fritz Klenner.
That was ape shit.
Yeah.
How'd you find that?
I was watching Killer Couples on Snapped, and
Man, that was
it was
a
an
good
episode,
one.
and I was like,
I mean, it was a terrible one. The ending, all of it's so sad.
on the episode, they don't bury the lead. They're like, she was close with her cousin. I was like, she gonna fuck her cousin. She gonna fuck her cousin. They said it in the first minute. And then come to find out, fucks her cousin.
Hearts and parts, man.
Hearts. But yeah,
was
and so I was like, I'm going to
sad.
rewrite this. I'm not telling her right off the jump. I'm going to suppress, shock and awe.
I'm sad
It's
about
very
the
sad.
kids because it wasn't necessary.
All of
like
it.
the kids were, all of it was unnecessary.
it.
But if they were going to go down in a bang, they were like,
Leave
you
the
could
kids
just
alone.
leave the kids.
Give them back to their dad, who really wanted them and was worried about them and
I was
couldn't.
working towards that.
Yeah, and was trying to get that. And like,
What a weird ending.
yeah, like Susie's,
It sucks that they got there too late. If they would have just gotten there earlier.
yeah.
And I'm sure they feel that way, but who knows how long the cyanide. So they said they brought the kids out. I didn't know if they were standing and they walked on their own accord. Like when you told me that, I was thinking they were walking to the car.
Yeah, the boys walked to the car and they were all unmarked and farther. Oop, hit the mic. They walked out and then she put them in the back. So like
When did this? That's what I'm like.
when they were watching them load the car, that was the
I know,
last.
but I don't know how the cyanide did anything that quickly.
Well, they were in the car for 30 minutes, so what they think is like she probably gave it to him at the house. I don't know, like speculating.
Right.
She probably gave it to him at the house. They started to get like puts them in there. I don't know if she carried or they walked.
if that was their intention the whole time,
But-
like, was it to just take
Yeah.
I'm just so curious when they got in the car that day, like what was their intent?
Another point that I thought about was that, and then I looked into and was actually true, that the police didn't want to shoot at the car because of the boys, but they had to in response to Fritz. And they were so relieved. They were so sad, but they were
Of course.
relieved to think that they had killed the boys on accident.
Right.
Because they all were just shooting at the car and none of them wanted to because they
Right.
already felt terrible for these kids. Because they don't
So
have a
she
choice.
just pulled the bomb. Like the speculation is that she did it
Yeah.
or that it blew up on accident.
They think that they intentionally did it because they stopped the car first.
Okay.
And like they thought he was
Okay.
going to get back out and shoot. And they
Instead.
stopped the car and then it blew up. Like it was under her seat, they could tell because she was so,
You can tell the projection.
yeah,
of an
that well,
explosion.
I guess that one of the car seats in the back was lodged and fused to her body. And
Wild.
the spring from her seat went through her pelvis. So yeah, and
Golly.
he flew out of the car and she was, yeah.
How terrible. How
Yeah.
bizarre and terrible and weird.
Yeah, the book, I really want to read the book now because they say he like deep dove
I
into
bet.
it. Bitter Blood by Jerry something, whatever I said at the beginning. And then I threw my paper down. It's down there.
I know. I see. I see that.
And then there's also like a made for TV movie in the 90s. And then I think there was like a miniseries or something. And then there was
Wow.
a movie too.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that. Great storytelling, Heather Terry.
You're welcome, Brooklyn Johnson. I almost said Maple again.
I understand.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's because you're in my phone as Brooklyn Maple and we talk to each other.
Maybe you should
through-
edit that.
I don't think I can.
That's weird.
I met you as a Maple. I'm still in Will's phone as Heather Weiniger.
well,
And
I'm
we're
not
married.
in your marriage.
What? Yes, you are.
Well, everyone, we love you.
Yes.
Do not forget about our live event on February 16th. It's a couple of Sassholes live, Partners
Yes.
in Crime.
Yes.
It's going to be at the backstage at the River Park Center, which was the Ghost Light Lounge. Get your tickets today. They are limited. Do not forget.
Don't forget and don't miss out
Yeah.
because you're going to feel real dumb.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, I would.
or you're just going to.
I hope I can
Don't
make
have FOMO.
I hope I can make it.
I mean, I'll still tantalize their ear holes with my own story. There you have it.
There you have it.
Y'all, don't forget to subscribe. And we love you.
Yes.
Don't get mad.
Get sassy.
We love you.
Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, a couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I bet that